Good morning, fellow traders. Bob Wood here. It's time for the Good Morning Market Prep for Friday, November the 6th, 2020. I hope everybody had a great night last night. This is brought to you by Positive Trends Research, and everything we're going to talk about is for educational purposes only and not investment advice, so please take a moment to review this disclaimer. Awesome. Good. All right, let's check and see where we left off the market yesterday. So SPX, double inside month so far. We've got one day left in the week, so let's see how the weekly chart is here. So today's the last day of the week. Again, happy Friday, everybody. We are above the prior weekly resistance levels right here, but we're starting to see a little bit of down. We'll take a look in the futures here and see how that holds today. One theory is that we have is that obviously the ABC correction is done right here, so ABC, and obviously we started an impulsive move up. So the question is, when is this wave going to end? Well, if it ended yesterday, right, then we would expect a 382 pullback or a 618 pullback for a wave 2 move before we start to work for a wave 3 up, which could take us up to past all-time highs. So again, the theory with this is, right, we pull back here because of election drama, and then once everything gets settled out, right, we start to reverse the upside. So that's kind of what we're looking at there. Let's take a look at the SPY. Okay, so SPY kind of chopping around right here. I mean, there is a potential here if you go to the short-term time frame, just to show you here on the 15 what I was looking at here this morning. We're channeling down this morning, but we did have a pretty big move up recently, so this actually could be a little bit of a bull flag, and I wouldn't be surprised with the irrational exuberance that we've been having. So it is what it is. We do have job numbers today, so if they come in worse than expected, you never know. That might prop the market up. I know it's ironic, but I mean, this is what it's been these days. So anyway, we are below geometric line here overnight here on the futures, on the S&P futures. So we gapped down initially, kind of started to push our way down. We did get a little bit of a rally right here, and then we lost, right, the signal zone from earlier today, and then that formed a fresh geometric line. We bounced off of an older signal zone right here tonight, forming a fresh geometric line up, and we're kind of chopping between these zones today. So let's see what they have in store for us today. Again, with the MES, let's just go ahead and put our geometric lines on here. The bulls, if they really want to step up today, they're going to need to get over this one to really finish the week green. So we'll see how we end up there. Let's take a look at the Qs and see what they're up to here today. So Qs, again, another possible bull flag right here. You can see we got multiple channels here. So let's see how the holes go in the morning. IWM. Again, the banks were really strong yesterday, and we just want to see how things are going this morning. We're seeing the cruise lines gapping down this morning, stuff like that. So, again, could be a bull flag right here, and there might be a surprise, especially if the banks continue to stay strong. I mean, the Fed basically said, they got lots of tools, the toolkit, and all that stuff yesterday. I mean, so they kind of just danced around everything, and really didn't set too much direction yesterday. So it was really kind of tough to gauge which way the market was ready to go. I mean, market's just waiting on the election right now, and where we go from there, but it just seems to just keeps on buying everything up. So as everybody tries to step in short, gets squeezed out. XLF, again, like I said yesterday, big bounce here this morning. We're kind of ticking lower here today, so definitely keep on that for indications of where the market might want to work its way today. Apple gapping down here this morning, looks actually a little bit bear flaggish going in today. It also goes ex-dividend here, so a lot of times we see some pullbacks off of that. So let's just kind of see how that holds going into the day here on Apple. Let's take a look at Tesla. Okay, so Tesla gapping down here a little bit too. It's kind of in yesterday's range, so let's just kind of keep an eye on here. It's overall it's in this big triangle pattern here on the daily chart. NIO. This thing has just been pretty epic recently. It's tough to gauge when this thing's ready to pull back. One of the things we could look at here is just just kind of track the price action. So it pulled back a little bit here overnight. Let's see if it breaks below yesterday's lows. If it does, right, we'll look to see if this thing can how it holds up going into earnings pretty soon. So we got that coming up. So NIO definitely want to keep on the radar here. Square. I told our group yesterday, I was like, wow, NIO keeps saying bullish. I was like, yeah, but here's not the time to chase. We want to buy a pullback, right? So let's look for, so basically on NIO, right, one of the things we're going to look at here is when we can get in, right? So obviously we have a fresh wave up right here. So, I mean, we could do it from here or we could do it from here. And either way, let's see if we get a cluster. So if we go from here to the highs, right? You've got a nice 382 right here. If you go from the gap right here to the highs, right? You've got a look at that, perfect right here. You got a 382 618 cluster right here. So maybe we'll look to do a golden zone buy here on NIO. Let's make that golden. If this thing's ready to rock, right? So let's see if that becomes a viable area for NEO. So good stuff there. What else? Let's take a look at Square. They had earnings last night. So, a lot of folks were asking me last night, it's like, well, why is this thing going to reverse? So I don't know if it's going to reverse. I mean, obviously it could work its way up. The problem is it pulled back so much. So when we trade intraday, right, one of the things we look at are these levels, right? So, I mean, we got a couple levels right here that, I mean, this level is going to need to hold right here, obviously. It's your pre-market lows and also a big turning point from after hours. If that can hold, right, it might get a little bit of push up here to retest these levels. But if not, right, we could see it work its way back down. I'm just saying, just in general, if we get up here, right, we could see a move down. So it's got some levels to get above here this morning. Again, if the market is weak here today, again, a breakdown below these levels could see yesterday's range. Let's take a look at Roku. Again, Roku had some crazy levels yesterday as well. Again, a big beat on earnings. It's going to be gapping up here today. Let's see if it could push. Again, I'd like to see it get over these levels up here of the prior all-time highs to try to get going here today. That would give it potential gap and go, but it's got really, really tough levels to contend with from last night. Again, this is not the type of chart I like to trade for a gap with these type of levels right here. Same with Piton. Again, gapping down this morning too on good earnings and good revenues. So just going to watch this one in the daily chart to see if it's ready to when it's ready to for another dip buy on it. So this could be like an A, B, C type move. Let's see where it is. It's on a 118. It's barely down, right? So we'll see that. This actually might be a wave one. Today's gap down could be the wave two, and Piton might actually be buyable. So we'll see how it goes there. TTD is the only one that's really, really interesting. Now, this is a tough one to trade in terms of options and all that. Gap it up to like the 740 level. If it gets over the 750 level, right, this thing could really, really move. So let's see how that goes today on TTD. It's just such a crazy name. Uber, again, big inside day yesterday, right after earnings coming up last night. So let's see how it goes. Again, that's a tough one to read right there. Again, nasty pre-market level. So a lot of these earnings ones, which are cool names, not really giving a lot of great setups here today. Win is pulling back too, but it's pulling back into other ranges right here. So you can kind of look at that one. Viac maybe will give us some hope. It was up a little bit after hours last night. So the daily chart is looking pretty strong right here. You got a nice open gap above. So let's see if they can push it up here today. That would be a nice one. And then last one here off of the earnings radar is Work. So Work gave a nice real bounce here off of these levels, and we're kind of tracking this one nice kind of little doji sandwich up here. I like how it closed over the 8-day. This thing could be getting ready to do a pullback right here, so with a fresh wave up. Again, it could be the fresh wave down, right? We could be just kind of looking at a potential target here, the 382 in the cloud. But if it is trying to grind its way up here, right, look for some potential viable pullbacks here. So it's a tricky name, but I do like the relative strength that we've been seeing. It's a nice sharp move up too. Anyway, guys, good stuff. I hope everybody has an awesome trading day today. We'll catch you guys in the lunchtime market update. Till then, stay healthy out there, and remember your risk first and stay safe so you can stay in the game. And I'll talk to you